Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. A person wants to get his life fruitful, his life meaningful, then he should possess a quality which is called self-control. Unless have self-control, a person cannot come out of the clutches of the hurdles in his life. Because life is a challenge. There should be lot of skills to face it. In such a skill, the self-control dominates first. Unless have self-control, a person cannot achieve what he wants to achieve in his life goal. In this regard, a person must and should adopt the skills, various skills, but should not forget self-control. Except self-control, all other skills a person possesses, but it is waste. Why? Because all other skills in one's life can work, can give him name and fame only with the skill of self-control. Think it. How much importance is given for self-control? Unless a person possesses self-control, he cannot go for further in his life. Nowadays, from young children onwards, from older people, the lacking subject is self-control. Wherever you see in a family, there is lack of self-control. There are so many disputes in and around the family members. Why it happens? Because of non-understanding or misunderstanding or misconception of other person. Therefore, we should see the society like a mirror. Except I, everyone belongs to society. If my actions are perfect before mirror, that's all. The society sees as I saw. Therefore, we should maintain some self-dignity, self-respect. Is it? For these qualities are based on the skill of self-control. If a person or if a society, if a leader, if a politician possess the skill of self-control, the person will be attained in a good proper way. Similarly, society, a leader will lead the society in a proper way. A politician will come to control himself as well as the public. So, wherever we found there should be the lack of self-control, the society now disturbs in all the fields, in all the activities. Therefore, what I would like to say is, whatever the merits we possess, whatever the qualities, whatever the rewards, awards we get, but the best award, reward, skill, merit is called self-control. It's only one enough. You can control everything. You can control by your senses. Is it? Understanding what I would like to say? Therefore, we are always ahead of learning the skill of self-control. Therefore, today I took the topic of the skill of the self-control. Let us see in detail. Achyutananda Govinda Namasmarana Bheshajat Nashyanti Sakala Roga Satyam Tatyam Vadamyaham. Everyone should display self-control. This skill is especially important for a householder. Self-control is abstinence from lust, greed, and anger in one's consciousness. It is said to increase the value of all other qualities, all other merits. Wealth becomes 1,000 times more valuable, and anger is one time will degrade. At the same time, who have a good command over themselves, they should possess self-control, and vice versa, it loses its value. It falls into the hands of a person who has no self-possession. For example, if the fortune accumulated by the father during the whole life passes to in all activities, son, it can be squandered in one day as a result of the son's dissolute behavior. Therefore, the only chance to boost achievements in this world is to develop self-control, which is a kind of growth ratio for all further achievements. The law of karma states if one has self-possession and is able to withdraw 5 senses from their objects, like a tortoise retracts its limbs into a shell, such a person is safe from sin for the next 7 births. Hence, this is not a one-day entertainment, but a real precious thing that will accompany us throughout several lives. Once we start refining our consciousness, it will get easier as time goes on. Some people who were sages in their past life don't have sinful desires since their birth. They only hear about them from others. Nothing prevents us from attaining the same purity of consciousness so that the sinful desires feel ashamed to stay in our heart and would shift from food to food and quickly run out of a door into the street looking for another carrier, or more accurately, a transmitter of infection. Scriptures admonish us to be especially alert when it comes to controlling the tongue. If we don't pay attention to that, serious problems may arise. Everything should be controlled indeed, but the constant danger of speaking a stupid, harsh, or offensive word demands special attention. A burn injury slowly heals, but pain caused by a thoughtless word is not easily forgotten. It leaves an ugly scar in the mind forever. It really impedes normal life. At one point, as one gets at another scar, desire for love and friendship may entirely disappear. People forget many sufferings, but they hardly forget or forgive offenses. Hence, speech is a dangerous weapon that should be kept under close observation like an explosive storage. And yet, an explosive storage can suddenly blow up at any moment and destroy all nearby buildings. Our speech has everything to do with anger because one says unpleasant and offensive words when in anger. Anger persons floodgates in the canal called speech, releasing the flow of all dirt from the heart. It's like knocking out the bottom value in our consciousness when the darkest and dirtiest sediment is let out. It's a said, it is said, if a person knows how to restrain anger surging within him and does not lose countenance or temper, all other virtues will wait the mercy at his door. Therefore, a householder should first of all be particular in his speech and not lose self control. Everything else will be easy. This is the secret of success of a family person. That's now forgotten. All people damn and curse and don't have the slightest idea that by doing so they'll lose their luck and cause an era of problems for themselves. Self possession and self control find practical expression in that one becomes able to regulate his life. In yoga, this is called sadhana or discharge of daily duties. It is said in the scriptures that orderliness in life is even more important than life itself, because thanks to orderliness, life acquires its meaning. One can study many philosophies and even get rid of fundamental doubts, but nothing except a regulated life can do real good, because without getting life in order, one cannot derive benefit from any achievements. When the house is a mess, you can never find the things you need. A well regulated life elevates all life spheres and especially spiritual development of an individual. It is said that disorganized, restless mind can't realize the truth even if he gets constant training. No method will help a person to reach the goal of life if he or she does not care about orderliness in life. A wise person may forget a verse from the scripture, but it's no big deal. He or she can learn it again. But if a wise person neglects orderliness in his or her life, all wisdom and even advantages of noble birth will inevitably fade away into nothing. What is the point of getting ready for an important meeting if I have not come on time? What is the point of cooking slap up dinner if I didn't cook in the day? I invited guests to my house. What's the point of preparing for the around the world trip if I missed by a plan? In a nutshell, as is said in the scriptures, living an orderly life brings respect. Neglect of order inevitably leads to shame. For example, a learned person is one who is able to keep a grip on one's self and one's life. Diplomas and crown count for little. And ultimately, orderliness enables us to show love properly, a deep and full fledged love. What is love? It's a full concentration on the object of love. This concentration is active in nature. I am not just thinking, I am really doing everything so that this person can be happy. The problem of our time is that our love is selfish. We want a person we love to belong only to us and no one else. But true love knows no selfishness, because where there is a true love, there is a loneliness. A girl taken to a wife has a father, a mother, grandma, a grandpa, a brother, sister, girlfriends, neighbors, pet dog, a pet cat, fish in the tank. A guy has to accept them all, not only her, but her whole family. So, formerly, it was a common practice to get acquainted with the family of a marriage candidate First and foremost, because people knew I shall have to deal with the whole stuff tied in with my person. In brief, every person has his or her own world. You need to come to love. Then a person will be happy. In the philosophical sense, we need to understand that every person in this world is someone's child. But the absolute truth is the original father and mother. Therefore, in order to love someone to the fullest, first we should come to love the absolute truth because he is present in everyone's heart. But we love only some part of an individual, that of a secondary importance. We love the skin, the eyes, the hair, and other suspicious parts of the body. But we forget the most important thing: there is an eternal soul situated in a body. This is what we should love. The secret of love for the soul is that it has a father, the super soul, situated in the same body, in the region of the heart. The soul and the super soul, Atma and Paramatma, are the most important parts within our loved one. But nowadays, no one is interested in these constituents, and this is pretty sad. Therefore, love starts when we take interest in the soul and the super soul residing in the body of our loved one. This is not bodily but philosophical interest, and it has to be satisfied within the covers of spiritual books. Thus, we learn true love. We learn about the soul hiding in the body and his Father who created such a beauty. Eternity and bliss. If a single particle of the absolute truth gives so much love and joy, can you imagine how much of it association with the source, the absolute truth himself can bring? Yes, we have already understood the secret of love. It consists of relationships at the soul level rather than just the bodily one. Here, still more amazing truth is revealed. All souls are related to each other. We all have the same Father. We are all their relatives. Therefore, it's impossible to only love one person. We ought to accept of all living entities. We ought to accept the whole family. If we love someone, we are obliged to love everyone else. But if you selfishly love one, the only person, and neither no more care about anyone else, this is a theft, robbery, stealing rather than love. I am trying to steal a soul from its external family. Therefore, everyone is so unhappy. It needs to be understood that love is, for one thing, destroyed by jealousy. I am thinking that this person belongs not only to me. He or she also loves someone else, loves him or her. Except me, this person has many other relationships. Therefore, in family life, it's most important to learn not to be jealous. Love always expands. As a result, we should come to love not only our relatives, neighbors, and co workers, but all living beings of this world. Therefore, it is said in the scriptures that there is no greater wealth than to have mind free from envy. In general, to envy someone else's riches is the same as being poor. Such a person, although he may have property, suffers like the poor. New acquisition won't bring relief, since the cause of suffering is someone else's riches. Therefore, freedom from envying the greatest boon on earth. If you want to give your children the best gift, teach them not to be envious. The best thing to facilitate both spiritual and material development is not let your mind be filled with envy. Envy is easy to notice. One can't rejoice at seeing the others' well-being. Scriptures say, even if one has not a single enemy in the world, envy will still bereave one of happiness. Our very mind can be our greatest enemy. Envy turns richness into poverty and brings suffering, although in that some situation one could be happy and enjoy life. Envy is an acid that eats away good mood. Even a person's face can tell you that their consciousness was poisoned with envy. The envious person has a sore look on their face. यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्ते ब्रह्मचर्यं चदन्ति तत्ते पदं संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये. In this sloka, Lord Krishna is assuring Arjuna that the divine, the imperishable, is indeed attainable by following certain definite methods. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara and who are great sages in the renounced world enter into Brahman. Desiring such a perfection, one practices celibacy, means brahmacharya. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation, means moksha. What is this? सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणम्. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart, and the life at the top of head, one establishes himself in yoga. Omityekaksharam brahma vyaharan manusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sahayati paramam gatim. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Partha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Mapopetya punarjanma dukkhalayamashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gata. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. In summary, these 5 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita explain the path of yoga practice by which any human being can attain the Supreme. It will take dedication, determination, persistence, perseverance, self-control, austerity, and self-discipline. With our effort and with divine grace, we can attain the supreme goal. We can emerge with the imperishable and reside in all the seat of Vishnu. Wandering mind and its control. The mind is not stable like a chair. but it wanders all throughout the world and provokes you with many useless thoughts. In Bhagavatam, it was clearly said that a man has buddhi, mean intelligence, manas, mind or heart, and atman, soul. We have organs for each and every function. Man should control his organs from the worldly pleasures and practice. He should use his buddhi to direct his mind, and in the process, when the mind becomes stable, he can find his soul inside his physical body. Soul then attains the state of happiness and reaches the super consciousness state, which we call as the God. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said that the sole aim of man is to reach him. Those who deviate from this path will not attain mukti, mean liberation, and should re-enter the cycle of birth and death, Punarjanma. Kindly remember that God has no manas, mean mind, so he neither loves you nor hates you. If you pray him with devotion, he will definitely help you. All you have to do is pay attention at your work. When Arjuna asked the Lord, what happens if a man fails to move in the right path even though he tried effortlessly? Then Sri Krishna answered, O Arjuna, the mind is not stagnant. It gets attracted to the perishable world due to the effect of Maya. So man should be careful like a tortoise dragging its body parts under its shell for protection in times of perils. Man should divert his attention from worldly pleasures using his buddhi, mean intelligence, and should concentrate on God with efforts through bhakti, mean devotion. Despite efforts of such, if a man fails to reach God, he has to take the next birth. But as he made an effort in last 8 births, there would be some effect of his deeds, and he will be born in a family with a good customs and culture, so he will be diverted again towards bhakti or devotion. Some are born in great families while some are born in the starving families. Some are born in great and prosperous countries while some are born in troublesome countries. If according to any other religion there is no birth and death cycle, then the real life events we are witnessing every day would not justify the presence of God as we describe him, because God should not be partial to anyone. Differently, Vedic culture of India believes in this birth and death cycle, so we can easily understood that the differences in the fortunes of the people are just the results of the deeds of their past births. Everybody in their life will do certain activities and in this process accumulates the results, and to experience their results they would take to next birth. At a certain stage, when they don't accumulate by any bad results, they attain mukti, mean liberation, and their soul will be united with the Supreme Soul. In this materialistic world, there is no real enjoyment other than the bhakti, because apart from true devotion, there is no other thing which only gives happiness. When a man has made more attention towards enjoyment, it will lead to lust. Man needs money only for his needs, but when lobha, mean blind attention towards making money and passion for amazing wealth enters the mind, it will be transformed into moha, mean attachment. Moha creates a kama, mean passions, obsessions, sexual thoughts. And kama transforms into krodha. Anger destroys buddhi, and man loses his memory control, common sense, and thinking ability. Thus, man gets destroyed by choosing path of enjoyment. Many people pray the God asking something they require by offering some valuable things in favor of God, and they believe that their wishes would become true. This is a common practice by majority of Hindus due to their sentiments. This is principally wrong because of you try to worship God, only getting some returns. Then it is a form of bargaining but not real devotion. This way of blind devotion is not useful at any way. This will not liberate anybody from his life and from cycle. Expectation always reduces joy, so if you love anyone truly, then if you want to give them something, give it without expecting anything in return. Otherwise, it is more shopkeeping rather than love. Do the things without selfishness. Thus, we can attain by our self-control. श्रीकांताय कल्याण निधि निधि नाम श्री वेंकट निवासाय श्रीनिवासाय मंगलम मंगलाशासन परे मदाचार्य पुरोगमे सर्वेश पूर्वे राशाय सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम.